Hello and welcome back to another video. So I started shooting this one at a time where I was really struggling for inspiration with photography and just wanted to get out and shoot something. Looking back at some of my favourite shots I've taken on film, a lot of them feature long shadows and harsh golden light. And sunny winter days are the perfect conditions for this kind of shot. So with this kind of shot as my inspiration, I loaded up my Mamiya NC1000S with a roll of Fuji 400, and on a chilly winter morning on my way into work, took the first few shots on the roll. With this roll, I really wanted to focus on locations that I hadn't shot before, and every day on my commute into work, I see this underpass beneath Deansgate in Manchester city centre that just has incredible light under the right conditions. I started with a couple of really simple but effective shots of the light shining on a section of the underpass. With the light shining on this hole in the wall, it almost felt like there was a side quest waiting in there for me. Making my way further into the underpass, I found a really nice composition, using the bridge's pillars as a leading line. I love how moody these shots feel, and they don't look at all like what I usually shoot in Manchester, giving the kind of look you'd expect when shooting film in somewhere like New York. Honestly, I think these next two shots are some of my best I've taken on film. I love how the bridge is illuminated in the sunlight, making it stand out as the focal point of the shots, with its reflection clear in the still water below. I also took the shot in portrait, but I think the landscape shot is my favourite of the two, as it captures more of the scene. I love how many layers are in this shot, with the two bridges and pillars overlapping with some sections hit by the sun. The final shot I took here was one of the first to be hit by a slight light leak, which I think happened when removing the film, because despite having shot film for a couple of years now, I still make beginner mistakes. I think a film changing bag definitely needs to be one of my next purchases. I took the next few shots on Christmas Day on a peaceful walk around the fields by my parents' house. Sadly, these were the ones hit the worst by the light leaks, so I salvaged what I could through edits. The shot with the least light leak damage from that morning was of a derelict shell of a barn. The light leak actually goes pretty well with the tones of the rusted metal, so I can't complain too much. On a bright sunny winter morning a few days later, I decided to make the most of some nice light in Manchester rather than the usual bleak grey skies, and so I headed to a couple more spots that I see almost every day but had never shot before. The first of which was a basketball court at a nearby park where I walk my dogs. I've always noticed the light hits nicely here on sunny days, so I brought the Mamiya along with me. Despite being underexposed, I'm really happy with the first shot. A close-up of a basketball net with the sun shining through the backboard, with the clear blue sky giving a nice contrast to the golden tones on the net. The next shot is my favourite from the basketball court, again underexposed, but because the sky was so bright it's clear in the shot, while the court is in the shadows, giving a really nice contrast, while the light shining on the backboard makes it the focal point of the shot. The final shot at the basketball court was another hit by the light leak, which I think added to it rather than ruined it. I used the gate as a frame for the net on this one, which works pretty well, but maybe I could have framed it a little bit lower down. So feeling inspired, I decided to head to another spot that I've driven past almost every day for the last 3 years, but I've never actually stopped to shoot. To be fair, it is just an underpass that seems to be a hotspot for fly tipping, but whenever I drive past on a sunny day, the light under it is incredible, so I decided this was finally the day to shoot there. So after this first shot, I did have another film photography disaster when the battery in my camera died and it completely locked up. Luckily, I knew I had a spare at home, which was only 10 minutes away, so I headed back and got it, came back to the location. But I think another goal for this year is just to make sure that I have one of these batteries in my camera bag at all times. Thankfully, the light was still perfect when I arrived back at the underpass and began shooting again. This first shot is nothing special and could have been better exposed, but I am happy with the framing, with the two pillars acting as a frame for the graffiti. The next shot I took on this side of the underpass was much better, and one of my favourites from the roll. The heavy shadows and bright light shining on the graffiti have a really nice contrast, and having just a bit of blue sky hidden behind the trees adds some depth to the colour tones. This shot perfectly captures how nice the light was, with it glowing between the pillars, which make a great leading line in the centre of the shot. This is another favourite from the roll. Heading to the main section of the underpass had a really post-apocalyptic feel, with abandoned furniture scattered all over, which I made use of in the way I framed my shots. At this point, the best of the light was starting to pass, and some shots weren't as nicely lit as I'd have liked, but this one has everything I look for when shooting film. Long shadows, streaks of light, and leading lines, exactly what I was aiming for on this roll. The light could have been much better for this one, but as the best of it had passed, I just went with it. It's a shame the sofa wasn't a brighter colour, as it really would have stood out more as the centrepiece of this shot, but I'm still pretty happy with it. This shot has a bit of everything, with the pillars acting as both a framing and leading lines, along with a slight reflection of them in the puddle below. This was the final shot on the roll, which turned out okay. It gives off an almost dystopian feeling, with the abandoned child's bike in a stream of light, with the radiation symbol on the pillar to the left. Honestly, if the light had stayed as perfect as it was when I started, I could have shot at this spot all day, and I was pretty gutted when my roll of film ran out. I am really glad I shot this roll, as it's helped me get back my inspiration for film photography again, and there's a couple of shots on it that were some of my favourite I've actually taken on film so far. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, go and check out some of my other videos if you haven't already. Also go and give me a follow over on Instagram where I post my shots. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.